Anyone in logistics knows this feeling, right? You're absolutely swimming in shipping data, but you can't get a straight answer to your most important questions. It's honestly one of the biggest headaches out there. So let's dive in and see if we can finally figure this thing out. I hear this from supply chain managers constantly, and it really gets to the heart of the matter. We've got mountains of information coming from carriers, from warehouses, from our financial systems, but actually stitching it all together to make smart calls, it feels impossible. So what's going on? Well, it's because our data is basically trapped in a maze. Just think about it for a second. Every single shipment leaves this trail of data breadcrumbs across a ton of different systems, all in different formats and, let's be honest, often full of mistakes. Trying to follow one single shipment from start to finish, it's like you're in a labyrinth, blindfolded. All right, so let's try to untangle this mess. First up, we've got to get to the root of why our shipping data is so chaotic. What's really stopping us from getting that one single source of truth we're all desperate for? It really boils down to four huge roadblocks. First, visibility is just terrible. We only ever see little pieces of the journey. Second, the sheer amount of data all broken up into pieces it's overwhelming. Third, the way the data is structured, super complicated. And to top it all off, all this chaos basically grinds any modern fintech solution, things like automated payments, to a halt. And those are the very things that can make our lives easier. Okay, but here's the kicker. The problem isn't that we don't have enough data. The problem is that the data is trapped. It's locked away in all these separate silos. You've got the carrier's system over here, the finance department software over there, the warehouse system somewhere else, and guess what? None of them are talking to each other. So what do? We try to bridge these gaps using a bunch of different ID numbers. You know the ones, the carrier's tracking number, the invoice number, maybe a PO number or a bill of lading. But here's the thing. Every single one of them is just one tiny piece of a way, way bigger puzzle. And this table just lays it out perfectly. It shows you the huge blind spots we're dealing with. Your tracking number? Yeah, it'll tell you where a box is, but it has no idea what's in the box or what it cost. The invoice number? That's just there so the carrier gets paid. It's not built for any kind of deep analysis. And that PO number? It might link you to a few parts of the journey, but never, ever the whole thing from start to finish. See the problem? They're all incomplete. So that brings us to the million-dollar question, right? If all the tools we're using today are leaving us in the dark, what's the alternative? How do we finally create that single, reliable view of our entire supply chain? Well, the solution is actually surprisingly simple and elegant. It's this idea of a golden thread. Instead of trying to juggle a million different numbers from all your different partners, the whole idea is to create one single unified ID right at the very start of the whole process. And this isn't just another number. It's a total shift in thinking, really. It puts the control of the data back where it belongs, with you, the shipper. So officially, this is called a Transport Unit ID, or a TUID. Now, the really critical part here, the secret sauce, is when this thing gets created. The shipper makes this unique ID the second an order is authorized. It's created right at the source, before any of the chaos has a chance to even start. And from there, this single ID becomes that golden thread, weaving its way through every single step. It starts in planning, then it physically follows the shipment through operations, it links up perfectly with the invoices over in finance, and what do you get at the end? A complete end-to-end view for your analysts. One number, one story. This right here is the breakthrough. For what feels like the first time ever, you have one single ID that connects all these departments that have always been in their own little worlds. Planning, operations, finance. They're all finally looking at the same picture, speaking the same language, anchored by the same ID. It's really about taking back control of your own data story, from chapter 1 all the way to the end. Okay, so having this golden thread is amazing, but it's really the key that unlocks something even more powerful, true interoperability. And that's just a fancy word for getting all of our different systems, yours, your partners, everybody's, to not just be connected, but to actually understand each other seamlessly. Now, getting to that seamless communication, it really stands on three key pillars. First, you need the technical plumbing, right? The system connectivity, your APIs that let data move back and forth. But that's just step one. It's not enough. You also need a common business language, like a shared dictionary. So when one system says delivered, every other system knows exactly what that means. And last but not least, you need trust. You have to be confident that the data is secure and that it's coming from a legitimate source. I really love this quote because it hits the nail on the head for that second pillar. It's not just about flinging data around. It's about making sure the meaning doesn't get lost in translation. And that's a business problem, not just an IT problem. All right, let's fast forward. Imagine we've actually done it. We've got our golden thread. All our systems are talking to each other. Our data is clean and trusted. So, now what? What does that actually let us do? What are the big game-changing questions we can finally ask? The ones that were just impossible to answer before. This is the fun part. This is where we stop just wrestling with data and start making powerful, proactive decisions. Because when you have that solid, unified data foundation, things like advanced analytics and AI can finally come in and do their thing. Just look at the difference this makes. Right now, with our siloed systems, we can maybe answer a simple one-hop question, something like, what was carrier X's delay rate last quarter? But if you ask a more complex, multi-hop question, the whole system just chokes. A question like, how did those specific delays actually impact our customer satisfaction ratings? To answer that, you have to connect your logistics data with your customer feedback data. And without a unified system, good luck. But with that unified data in place, an AI can do something called multi-hop reasoning. It can literally build a chain of thought in real time to crack that tough question. It just goes, okay, step one, find all the delayed shipments for carrier X. Step two, connect those exact shipments to the customer satisfaction scores. Bang, bang, boom. It connects those dots in seconds, not weeks of manual work, but seconds. And the payoff from that kind of speed and insight, it's huge. We're not talking about small improvements here. We're talking about real, tangible results, like drastic cuts in dwell times, real end-to-end visibility for the first time, lower operational costs, way better use of your assets, and maybe most importantly, just making faster, smarter decisions across the entire organization. So this is the transformation we're talking about. Think about Ralph, our savvy supply chain manager from the beginning. He goes from totally drowning in data chaos, always putting out fires, to running an operation that's proactive and strategic, all because he implemented this golden thread. So here's the bottom line. All that data that's scattered all over your organization, it's trying to tell you something. It's trying to tell you a story. That story holds all the insights you need to optimize everything, to save money, to make your customers happier. The only real question left is, are you ready to finally listen?
Hello, this is Randy McClure from SC Tech Insights. Thank you for listening. For more on this topic, click the article link below or go to www.sctechinsights.com for the latest insights on supply chain technology. Thank you and see you next time.